The girl had a red birthmark on her face. It only faded briefly when she practiced Tai Chi, but the sect forbade girls from learning Tai Chi, so she secretly trained in private. Though her moves looked right, she couldn't grasp the true essence. Every time she finished and gathered her energy, the birthmark would reappear. Because of this, she was constantly bullied by the maids. They forced all the dirtiest, hardest chores on her, told the ugly freak to wash all the clothes. But after the maids left, the girl struck a Tai Chi stance, stomped her foot, and sent all the clothes flying into the water vat. She spread her hands and started stirring the water. The Tai Chi, famed across the martial world, was now being used to do laundry. She leapt into the air, landed on the vat, and pressed down with her feet. The clothes inside spun even faster. Then she channeled her inner strength into several vats, let out a shout, and the energy inside the vats exploded. Turns out the girl had been adopted as a child. The young master saw her bullied for the birthmark, and casually taught her a few Tai Chi moves for self-defense. His greatest dream was to become the best doctor and cure the mark on her face. But while she was washing clothes with Tai Chi, she accidentally used too much force, causing the earth to shake. At that moment, the ancestor who was healing nearby was startled awake by the disturbance. Curious, he came to investigate, only to be shocked. The girl before him had mastered Tai Chi to its peak. He believed she might be a rare martial genius, and asked which sect she belonged to. Hearing this, the girl panicked. Though the young master was heir to the family's Tai Chi, he rarely trained seriously. If it got out that Tai Chi had been taught to a girl, he'd surely be punished. She didn't know what to say, but the old man suddenly knelt before her and begged to become her disciple. Yet his injuries were too severe, and he fainted on the spot. The girl rushed to find the young master to help save him, unaware that this man was the family's long-lost ancestor. Once the ancestor's condition stabilized, the young master kindly offered to bring him home to recover. The ancestor learned the young master was his descendant, but worried that his injuries would bring danger to the clan, so he kept his identity hidden and knelt before the girl, insisting on becoming her disciple. The girl said she was just a maid, unworthy of such respect, but the ancestor was amazed by her talent and made a silent vow to abolish the outdated rule of only teaching men. Before leaving, he promised to repay her in person once healed. Just after he left, the girl suddenly remembered the young master hadn't trained yet that day, so she dragged him to the training ground. But they were soon confronted by his cousin, who mocked the young master, saying even after years of training, he couldn't hold a horse stance properly, called him a disgrace. The girl couldn't take it anymore and stood up for the young master, saying his medical skills were amazing and he had already saved countless lives. This enraged the cousin, who slapped the girl, called her a lowly maid who dared to talk back. Just as he raised his hand again, the clan leader arrived with others and summoned everyone to the meeting hall. Second uncle shouted, ordering the ugly maid to leave the training grounds at once, claiming she tainted their ancestral rules. He also made the young master kneel and apologize, then pulled out a marriage contract, planning to marry the young master into a noble family. That family needed a top doctor, and the young master's skills were just what they wanted. If the marriage succeeded, they could use his talents to dominate their region, and their own clan could rise again. But the young master refused on the spot. Second uncle pressed harder, saying the clan had declined for years, and only marriage could restore their glory. His father also spoke coldly.